So in this section, what we're going to look at is setting your bow up. So this is each time you go to the club, if you have a takedown bow, you need to assemble it to be able to shoot it. Now we do have another section which is setting your bow up for the first time. It's quite a big module, but it shows you how you should be setting all your bow up. So if you haven't done that already, I'd advise you to stop here and go back and have a look at that one. But this is just how to set your bow up each time. So if you've already watched the other section, you'll recognise this bow. So when you're setting it up to shoot, it's pretty straightforward. You just got to remember one or two vital things about your string. So obviously you have your handle and you have your limbs. So as we've said before, the limbs have a sticker on them, and you'll be able to see in the bottom corner here that it says upper or lower. So in this case, this one says lower. So that goes on the bottom half of the handle. So being ILF, this one just clips in. If you've bought a bow with the screw-in limbs, the same thing follows, lower on the bottom, upper on the top, but you'll just unscrew the bolts, put the limb on and screw the bolt back up again. So if we put the two limbs in, and just make sure with the ILF limbs that they are properly seated. So you need to make sure that that slot is right underneath the bolt here. You also need to make sure that the mushroom headed adapter there is in its groove here and it's caught under the lip. So if it hasn't caught under the lip, if I just try to do that, you'll see that I can actually turn that way. I can lift it. I shouldn't be able to do that. So catch it underneath and make sure that that's actually caught. You will have some play here. That'll go away once you put your string on. Okay, so put your to put your string on, you're going to need a stringer. Now, if you watched the other section, I talked about keeping the twists in your string. So when your string's in storage, you need to make sure that the ends of it are actually joined together, either with a paper clip, or you get these things which are called twist keepers. If I take the clip off, I'll just show you how they work. Basically it is a glorified paper clip, so that just pushes on and holds them together, and that's to stop the string from untwisting itself while it's in storage. If for some reason you've lost your paper clip or your twist keeper, the other thing you can do is you have a big loop and a little loop. If you put the big loop through the little loop and then reach through the big loop, grab the little loop and just pull tight, that pulls them together, and again that will stop them untwisting. So to put the string on the bow, as I said before, you have a large loop and a small loop. So the large loop always goes to the top of the bow. So let me just get a twist out of that. Now when you're doing this as well, never let go of the ends of your string. You've had it in storage with the ends put together, so don't drop one end of the string while you're working with the other one. Always keep both ends in your hand. So large loop, we're just going to put over the top and slide it down the bow. Small loop goes in and it actually gets fitted into the groove at the end there. You then have your bow stringer, which has a pocket at one end. So you make sure you put the pocket down over that, that holds that in place. And then the other end you put over the top. Now you'll see when I'm putting it on here, I want to keep the string outboard of the stringer itself, because when we pull this up to tension it, we need to be able to get our fingers on the string. So we just stand back here. Don't just use one foot, because when you pull up, what's going to happen is this is going to want to slide in, and if it slides in, it's going to make it a lot harder to actually pull the bow up, to bend it enough to get the string on it. So always use 2 feet wide apart. Make sure that your string is out as far as you can put it, with the string on the outside of it. Pull up, slide your string up and fit it into the grooves. Make sure the string is down the back of the limb, and then slowly take the tension off, and that's our string in place. Now, we talked again in the other section about the brace height, which is from the back of the handle, front of the handle, to the string, and we also used one of these bow square to measure it. So every time you put your string on, it is worthwhile just checking your measurement to make sure that it is still the same. As your string gets older, you can also get a thing called string creep, where your string actually just stretches very slightly. So certainly over the life of the string, it's a good habit to get into, just to keep checking that brace height every time you put your string on. Okay, so having done that, we now take our button, which again I showed you in setting your bow up for the first time, how to set your button up, and all we're doing is we're screwing the button into the back hole of the handle so that it comes through here on the other side where the arrow rest is. And if you have a sight, slide your sight on. Again, if you're shooting at short distances, then you'll want to just use the first or the second hole to secure, and all you do is put the nut through and tighten that up. Make sure while you're shooting, during the time that you're shooting, just periodically just check both the button and the sight mount to make sure that nothing has vibrated loose. Once you've done that, sit it on your bow stand, of which I have one here. Now on your bow stand, you'll see that there is a thing here called the string keeper down here. So that's actually so that when you sit the bow in the stand, your string actually sits down inside that and just keeps it stable. Not very important when you are shooting a bow that doesn't have stabilisers on it. But once you've put stabiliser rods on this, when you sit the bow down, if it's not in that string keeper, the bow's going to want to cobble over and fall off its stand. So again, just make sure that you're doing that each time, so that when you start using stabilisers, it just comes naturally to do that. So that's your bow set up, ready to shoot. Now on to the next module.